Hello, what's up? Happy Wednesday,
Hi, we're
everyone.
here at a day we're not usually here.
You know that happens, and you got to play catch up. And this
Yeah,
is the day.
that's right. We appreciate James being here and his tree.
Woo! Go
Thanks,
James.
James.
Go James Tree.
You the real MVP. How are you always here?
And happy last day of November.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
Christmas
yeah.
shopping time.
So weird, right?
I know. I got paid
For
today, so I'm trying to
shopping?
go and just like knock all of my stuff out, so I don't think about it the rest of the month.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
I got a nice
Hi,
chunk.
Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Well, before we talk about our book, we got to talk
I was
about
gonna
our
say,
sponsor.
speaking of Christmas shopping,
Yeah, go for it. Take it.
Yeah.
Take it away.
check out InStockTrades.com where you're going to get the best deals on the comic lover or not comic lover in your life. In fact, maybe
or soon
this
to
is
be
the
comic
best.
lover.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The best introduction. Get them something that's a great price
Yeah.
on InStockTrades.com. Perhaps you would like to get them Wynd. Maybe you should. You should. Get it for them. You're going to have the best packaging, the best, like, even the boxes. I feel like they're, post office proof.
Oh, yeah. You can listen.
It's
Not
fantastic.
only are you getting books for yourself, but you get a box. You can wrap something in for Christmas.
Yes. And it's sturdy.
It's a good box.
I rebox with their boxes all the time. It's
Oh, yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.
I never think to, but if I was resourceful in any way, I would.
And when you have people in your life who actually want things from InStockTrades.com, it's
Like
easy.
me.
Or my dad, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get him things from this place. Yeah, of course.
So let's get to it. Let's talk about Wynd.
Yeah.
It's by James Tynion, and I always write the descriptions, but I don't have the description in front of me. The illustrator.
Oh, Michael. I don't know how to say his last name.
All right.
Help me. Do you know?
Dialynas? Nope, I don't.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I started and then I was like, that's not right.
I apologize, Michael, if you happen to see this video.
We're bad at things.
I did not look up ahead of time how to pronounce your name. I hope you forgive me.
Sorry.
But I've been hearing this book forever. Forever and ever and ever. Everyone's like, read Wynd. Read Wynd.
Mhm,
Like, I'll get there. I read books 1 and 2 today on Comixology, which seems a little bit improved, the website, as far as reading it.
I was going to ask. I haven't
feel like
tried
they
in a
must have
while.
fixed a couple things. Of course, I'm reading it on my computer, not on my tablet.
I'll try again.
Seems a little bit better.
That's good to hear.
So we'll
That's good to
see.
hear.
And when I finished, it went right into the second book without prompting me to have to go through that whole rigmarole.
Love that.
That's
how it
pretty
should
good.
be.
That's pretty good.
That bar's low, but that is how it should be, right?
But spoilers, after reading it, I will certainly be buying the hardcovers because I really enjoyed this. But you know, I love a fantasy. A fantasy with like built-in lore. I love it.
Let's talk about this hardcover for a second. One, I do want to talk about my history with Wynd. I was reading this last year by single issues as they came out on Hoopla. And then I loved it so much that I was like, I need these hardcovers. I will say, I don't know how out of print these hardcovers are. I know they're limited to only comic shops. So you can only get these in comic shops. You can't get the trades elsewhere. These collect what the trades do. And they're smaller in size. And I know a lot of people don't like that. I think they're a great size, personally. Here is a regular trade next to it. So it's a little bit, the width is a little bit less and it's shorter. But
that's a lot thicker than I assumed it would be.
Yeah, but it makes them look a little chunky. And there's about six chapters in each book, right?
Yeah.
So, and some of the chapters feel longer than a regular issue, at least.
Honestly, because I read fast.
Yeah.
It is known. I spent I spent a little over an hour reading both of them. Now, granted, I wanted to take my time, and there are bits and pieces where they do give you a lot of lore of like the history and all of these things. And so there is a little bit more to read into, but I wanted to take my time with it. I guess we should describe what it is. So Wynd.
I love how reading both volumes in an hour is taking your time with it. Love that for you. Can't relate. Love it.
For me, that's what it was. But yeah, so people at home, this is a fantasy. I guess you could say like this would fit to a younger adult. Like if you look at a minimum.
That is where they stock it, in a comic shop or bookstore. It is with the other, like, young adult / children, even I think older children maybe.
Yeah, and I would skew older just because there is some heavier themes and there is like murder.
Yeah.
But this is so much fun. It reminded me of when we were reading like Scales and Scoundrels. That type of feeling of a book, because you've got like a larger epic happening, and it feels almost like a fairy tale setting, but in a very familiar way and a very fun way. Because we start off with Wynd, our main character, who is this like younger looking boy. I think he is actually older, but it's hard to tell. He looks younger. He has pointy ears, and we learn pretty quickly on that is something to be hidden in this city. And they don't even explain why right away, but we get he works in this like restaurant, and every day around lunch, right before lunchtime, right before it gets busy, he goes up to the top, eats a little bit of snack, lets his ears out, and maybe this isn't the healthiest thing, but he watches this gardener go on his runs because he's fawning over him. But he knows that because of his condition, being a magical being, as we soon learn, he can't really participate in regular life. He kind of has his day-to-day, and he just admires others from afar, knowing that because of what he is, people are unlikely to accept him. But he doesn't even know what he is either. So that's kind of like your that's like the start of this before we go into the big adventure, which we'll get to. But already I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, and he's such a likable character. Like, you just the whole time
cute.
He's so sweet. He's so little and like cute.
Yeah.
And you watch him watching the gardener too run, and you're like, okay, partially this could be really creepy, right? On the other hand, he's a kid, and he's a kid who's very sheltered because he literally can't live in real life with everybody else. So he's making up these like tales in his head, like what these people would sound like.
He talks to him out loud because he can't see, But it's sweet. I think, like on paper, if I said this to you, you'd be like, that's creepy. But because it's him and because of his unique situation, it felt very sweet, almost kind of like Hunchback of Notre Dame, because you have this person who's just kind of watching everything else happen in the world, who's stuck in his own day-to-day and doesn't really have any escape from that. And he's still so sweet.
You just want to hug him the whole time. And his whole family that you get introduced to, his mother figure, like you find out, of course, eventually that she found him as a baby and somebody didn't want him, probably because of his ears, maybe, we assume, She took him in even though she was like, this is a death sentence, but I can't just leave this baby out here, And she's wonderful. I love the mom in this so much.
I love her. I love her daughter. I love the man that works in the shop.
Oh my gosh.
It's just full of so many wonderful characters. So basically, in this world, we have like the last like human race. There's like 2 human cities. And one is considered to be fully human. The other one is more accepting. But they have drawn a line between them and magical beings. So in this city, magical beings are not allowed. Everything that is magical from the outside is seen as evil, as wrong. And what Wynd grows up with is this idea that all of this could infect him. And so he sees himself as a human that as a baby must have touched something magical and it's infected him, but he has no idea anything else. So basically before he was born, or after he was born, really, so it's like an inquisition of sorts that came through town. This person, this bandage man, who's able to sense magical people, and they murdered all of them. And that is the situation where he was found. And that is a situation that lays the ground of like what this city is like. And so when the bandage man comes back to town, the mother figure, she's like, okay, I'm sorry, but you need to pack your bag and we're going to have to go to Northport. We're going to have to get away from here where you're going to be safe, because I've seen this happen before. This is the first step. I cannot lose you. And like at the same time, we also have this prince character who's kind of wants to run away from his responsibilities. And ask cute gardener boy, his friend Thorn, to go along with him. So all right, we have to set up these two kind of like stories are obviously going to go together, and we're gonna have this like fantasy adventure story, right? It is not an unusual. It's a very typical fantasy like setup, but in the best way.
I'd say even like the tropes that we're experiencing the whole time that we've seen and seen and seen, there was still something so unique about this to me. I mean, it's concepts we know. It's like we know where it's going essentially, right? We know they're gonna all like go on a big adventure. But I think what's just so great is, you know, his writing, everything I've ever read from him.
Oh, Tynion kills it every time.
Oh, he's so good at character work, right? And that's the thing. Character dialogue and the development between each and every character and how you care about every single one. Kind of even the bandage man, which you don't expect to do, right?
Well, yeah.
I won't give that away, but like kind of, right? Like you're like,
oh. Even the prince, because the prince starts out as like this very, it's like, oh, father wants to be there, and it's so boring, and my life is misery and woe, and I hate it here, and all this stuff. You see why he is like that, and you get to like follow him kind of accepting and learning new things and learning that what he's been told isn't true about outside magical stuff. And you even love him too.
Absolutely. And how he speaks to people. I mean, you really want to hate him for a while. You're like, oh, this guy's the minute worst.
He sees that fake girl though, and he's like, oh, I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. Okay.
Yeah. He definitely.
And Thorn is just, you know,
sweet baby,
sweet beefcake, man.
Yeah, sweet big boy.
And it's great. I love this because, you know, along this way you're learning more about him. You're learning more, and we'll probably have to do another review when all this is out, but to learn about like Wynd's abilities and powers and like what that is and what he is, because of course it's a fantasy. He's not just a human that was touched by magic, like has happened to other humans that have been poisoned or affected or whatever. He is obviously something very special and the key to everything because it's a fantasy adventure story.
He has to be the chosen one, of course.
100%. Right? And, you know, you can see in the pictures of the books, he does get wings, and the name Wynd is very apropos, right?
Right.
We do have to talk about, there's a lot of things here. Again, we don't want to spoil it all for you. Oh yeah,
we'll show you his wings. Yeah.
Well, I love the way they're put there, right? Because they're not put in the usual place.
Yeah, and I just love that his shirt's a little up the entire time. And it's like, oh, you know what? That would happen. Like, I think any other depiction we've seen like that of like wings on a person, the shirt would just like rip, right?
Well, yeah, because it's always shoulder blades, but I liked it this way. Yeah. I wonder if they thought, you know what? Having to find a story reason and like build in time to like work at his wardrobe to like affect the wings is gonna be really annoying. Because I would think that. I'd be like, oh, no, man.
Yeah. It's like, I would just draw with a crop top the whole time. It'd be great.
Yeah. I think that's very practical.
Yeah.
But we do have to talk about, one of my favorite parts is when the two groups are united. And I won't give you the whole specs on that, but it is after a series of incredibly unfortunate events. Aw. Hello, I hope you guys are having a good day.
Elliot, are you in the house with her?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
I know. We're going to go on a date after this.
Oh, what kind of date?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, cute.
Let's figure it out. But I love when they meet up finally, and there's that moment where they're like sitting by the tree and they're waiting, and it's just Wynd and Thorn talking, and it's so cute because he just like, not by the tree. It's on. No, I guess it's by the tree because it's before they get on the boat. But he's like, he just kind of like word vomits, which I love because that's what I would do. Because he basically tells on himself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's just kind of talking, you know, like, he's like, hey, yeah, I used to watch you every day. Like, I would just watch you every day. And, you know, I just hoped that I would get rid of these ears and be a normal person so I could go talk to you and, like, buy flowers from you and ask you what flowers are good. And then maybe you ask me to dinner. And it was so, he just keeps blabbering. He's like, so, I don't know. Do you want to have dinner when we get on the boat? And I love that he was that forward and he went ahead and did it. There's something so sweet and endearing and real about that, because usually it's just long drawn out thing and it's weird or whatever. And the guy was like, yeah. And we didn't waste any time. And that's all about Tynion.
Yeah.
Because he's going to give it to you. And I was so glad.
And I love that moment too, because it truly like shows you how innocent that was that he was watching him too, right? Yeah. It made it totally not extra weird with him just blurting it out. And yeah, anyone else I feel like would have kept that a deep dark secret forever until like
Yeah.
books from now when they're
And
together.
finally tell him to like, hey, I know you don't know me, but like,
right.
you're my reason for
Right. But no, he was like, we're gonna get right to it. And what's kind of great too is like they're not together by the end of these 2 books. I mean, I guess that's kind of a split, but like they're not. That happens. And he's like, yeah, we'll eat together, but like that's not what's happening.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of other things that are happening that are getting in the way.
Right. Yeah.
But there's still that love there. It's really interesting because he even talks later, which I really like. There's this moment where he's talking to the character. And again, I love him. I love Wynd because he reminds me of me. Because I think he's so happy to talk to somebody that he says everything that's on his brain. And I love that. He's so awkward and like, here's everything. Because he talks to girls like, I don't even know. I don't really know what we are because I really like him. And then I just told him about everything because I used to watch him and like I would talk to him as if he could hear me. He's the first person I told I even liked boys. Because he's even admitted, he's like, I don't know, maybe I just like the idea of him. I don't really even know. And I've only met a few days ago, but I'm already so attached and I don't know what to do about this. Blah, 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 blah. And I like that. It's so cute.
It's super cute.
And on the backdrop of like, there's this happening and there's always very awful things like genocide of these magical creatures, war between different groups of magical creatures like fairies and vampires and stuff, as well as war between, not really war, but like some issues between like human groups as well. So you have all of that. Love it.
There's a lot going on. There's a ton of characters, but it's never like hard to follow either. Oh. Right. It's so easy to read. Everybody should check it out.
And I took my time to reread it anytime the lore came up because it's written like little like scroll text or whatever. Like it's really pretty. And they add these great illustrations behind it because I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, I want to make sure I have this lore in my brain.
Yeah. Page like that.
It feels like every fantasy, which I like, where it almost like they go into the lore, like Beauty and the Beast, kind of. Like, here's the background, the past story, right? So we're going to have illustrations that look like stained glass windows in the background while we tell you what happened in the book. I love this. I love a good fantasy. It makes me feel good. And I think there's never enough of them. I don't know if other people agree with me, especially of that kind, where it's like younger and less like, oh, Lord of the Rings, blah, 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 which I still love. I'm always searching that out. Like, I can't have enough of them.
Well, and this felt like very accessible in that fantasy genre, because that's my problem. And I think you kind of relate to some of this where like, if you throw a million characters at me, I'm probably going to get a little lost. I just am. There's a lot going on. But yeah. And also the art, I mean, I know we can't say his name, but like his art is beautiful. I love it. It's it's very simple, but like in an amazing way. I don't know.
Well, like, everyone is so like, everyone is so expressive.
Yeah. And unique.
Yeah. The design's done so well. The colors are done so well. There's a clear distinction between fantasy like races. And it's just, it makes the world come alive. It reminds me of like, The Lost Neverland. The manga we read 200 chapters of.
Finding Neverland?
Yeah. It's not called Finding Neverland.
Is that what it's called? Wait.
There's no way it's Finding. That's that movie about Peter Pan.
Why can't I think of it? I don't even have my phone with me.
Anyways, in that manga, somebody's going to know. Apparently, we can't remember the name of. That we read all of.
And we read all of it. Hold on.
200 chapters.
Do you have your phone with you? Well, we both have the internet.
Do I have my phone? I have 2 screens. Neverland, I'm typing manga. The Promised Neverland.
The Promised Neverland.
It reminds me of that because like you're in this like secluded place. You have your own idea of what the world is. Yeah, thank you, James. And then once you get out the gates, it is just incredible. It's not what you expect. You have no idea how it's going to work. You've got little forest creatures. And almost instantly you're introduced to be like, hey, like even the fake creatures there, they're like, oh, you've been told I'm gonna like murder you and eat your children or something. And she's like, no, honestly, we barely even think about humans unless they show up. Yeah. Like we have our own things here. And like, yeah, there's stuff you probably shouldn't touch in the forest because maybe it'll affect you, but that's no different than touching plants that might give you like poison ivy and things. You should just be careful. But it's not like this immediate horrible thing that's going to happen. Like there's beauty to this. And so like, because while you're going through this, because this whole book is about Wynd learning how to be himself and learning about himself. And I love to see him, because he still has some like self-hatred and like, he's got some worry about what this will turn him into, because he's worried he's going to go out here and the magic's going to further transform into something really scary because it's done to other people. But I love that he doesn't keep that too much, because some main characters, if this is their like shtick, right, they hold on to this self-hatred and doubt and resistance a little too long in stories.
Mm-hmm.
And very quickly, I mean, he's got this hesitation, he's still got this fear about himself, but he's interested and welcoming, and he's curious about the world around him. And I think that's really refreshing, because it could have been a very different way. And I think it's written very well.
I absolutely agree.
Good job to you.
I want more, like right now.
I know, I'm so excited.
I don't know what the plan is. I didn't look it up, but I feel like there hasn't been a single issue after 10.
No. I think
maybe I'm wrong, but
there should be at least 4 books for each Wynd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if at the very least.
That's smart. Yeah, I like that.
At very least, you should have 4. But I don't know.
Are you finding something? Let me see. Wynd.
I'm trying to look it up right now. James will know. I trust. James is my wealth of knowledge.
Okay, wait. So there is more.
It says it's supposed to be due out in August.
That's what I'm reading. Did that come out? 5 issue. Okay, it's another like. It's called Wynd Thrown in the Sky.
Yeah.
Is it all out then?
I don't know. They got variant cover art from Greg Capullo.
Okay.
That's neat. I do want some of these covers too. I hope that they release some prints or something, because I'm very...
They're beautiful, yeah. It looks like the last one that came out was number 4 of this next part. So, hey, that's good. I think why because in my head I was like, oh, I didn't see it on Hoopla. It's because it's called something different. So they changed it.
Oh, because they added the little...
it's not number 11. It's now Wynd Thrown in the Sky Volume 1 or Issue 1.
Because I had it organized by like book 1, book 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love this little boy. I love him.
Well, I love him. I love his relationship with his sister too.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Who they just call each other friend, which I think is sweet too. But she's the best. She's great.
Oh, so good. Well, the bummer about this is because we don't want to spoil it for you. I don't want to say too much. I think when the rest of it comes out, I do think it'll be okay for us to do like a more spoiler thing. Like, hey, if you just want the shtick, go back and watch this one. But once it's done, I think we just dig in all the way.
That'd be great. We should do it.
Because I want this to get popular enough so they make a little figure of him.
Oh, how cute would that be? I'd love that. Ooh, like one of him like working at the pub or whatever, and then one of him with his wings.
Be cute.
Yeah, really cute.
I hope him and Thorn work out, because they kind of remind me of the couple in Heartstopper a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's super cute.
You know, because you got Anxious Boy and you got Big Dumb Sweetie Boy.
Yeah. And their hair is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
I love
Big Dumb Sweetie Boy.
Well, and it was such a trope, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love Big Dumb Sweeties.
Like My Love Story. Of course, Big Dumb Sweetie.
My Love Story is still probably the best shoujo, honestly.
I agree. It's fantastic.
That's what I need to reread.
Oh, me too. You know what? We should do that, because we never actually like talked about it together, right?
I know. And I actually never read it. I only watched it.
Oh, okay. We should do that. That would be fun.
Good. Look.
James coming in clutch. She's got it.
Oh, August 2023.
Okay, that's where we kept seeing August. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to wait that long.
I don't either.
I will. Tynion.
I don't either.
It's like he's like a big time author, has to do other things. I just want Tynion to do his other stuff a lot, because like I still need to buy all of the Woods, because I love the Woods. And so I knew I'd love Wynd. But
yep, everything I've ever read from him. I want to read it all now, and I haven't read any of his DC stuff. So
you gotta read it. Oh, can we read Detective Comics together?
I would love that. I would do it. Yeah.
Oh man, I was telling. Okay, I know you watched part of the show last night, but Omar didn't know about Wayne Family Adventures. I was like, where have you been?
And it's so
Mr.
good.
Comic Book Man. Just think
Yeah.
about how good Nightwing was and how like you should read Nightwing. It was really good.
Yeah, okay.
How like there's a lot of relaxing things in there, like real people things.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonah talked about Wayne Family Adventures. He's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "This is a DC thing. It's not a fan thing." It's like, no, you gotta read it. It's perfect.
Yeah. I
It's
need
the
to catch
most
up on
perfect
it.
thing.
It's
I
so
do too.
good.
Man, so good.
You know, speaking of things that are so good that I'm really late to the game on. Maddie and I already talked about this, but I did finish She-Hulk last night.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what do I do with my life? How do
I don't know. It's so
where do I
good,
go
right?
from here?
It's
I don't
so
know what
good.
to do now.
Did you like the romance in there? Because I love the romance.
It was perfect.
It was
and
so
I'm like,
cute.
so like, do we know if like is something confirmed? Do we know, James? Do you know?
We haven't confirmed there's gonna be a She-Hulk season 2. A lot of people feel like there probably won't be, only because it wasn't universally like I love that show. I can see where that is not everybody's cup of tea. It is my cup of tea to a tea.
But like, can we just be real? We know whose cup of tea it wasn't.
Right?
Oh,
yeah, we know. Because like there's some Marvel shows that came out that I wasn't a big fan of. Like I didn't really love Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I felt like it should have been just one movie, personally. Man, She-Hulk, you need a breath of fresh air in Marvel programming because all this like serious stuff that's supposed to build up the universe, and this in itself was a commentary on those, and it doesn't build it up. It doesn't, except for the thing at the end, the little teaser about a certain character that shows up. That makes sense with Young Avengers and things happening, but
yeah, I'm gonna be very mad if there's never any more. And I can see that happening, but I'm going to be incredibly angry. That, I mean, I said it to you, but like truly, that's the best season finale I think I've ever watched.
So cool, right?
It was incredible. And I, you know, if anyone happens to have not seen it.
Also, you saying incredible is funny. That was a good pun.
Thank you so much. But that part with the Disney Plus screen popping up, I love it so much. It was so good.
Well, it was so She-Hulk, and I've seen some people on the internet who were like, I don't think she should be fourth wall breaking because Deadpool's already fourth wall breaking, and I was like
you didn't read anything.
Also, She-Hulk is the most fourth wall breaking. We literally read that she's climbing out of her own panels to talk to you,
and she was created before the boom, so there's that.
Also,
I don't...
Madison and Wongers, best thing that ever happened.
I loved it so much.
Her own damn show.
It was so good.
I would watch her, even if it's just shorts.
Yeah,
where they talk about TV or like let them hang out with that guy in Ant-Man that recap stuff and have them all hang out.
Yes.
That's what
yes.
That's what we're missing.
Yeah. And then you know what, for fun, let's just throw in the pizza guy from Stranger Things. Just throw him in for fun.
Oh, perfect.
That'll
he should be in here anyways. You know
just throw him in.
And fun. Then have Mantis and Drax be there. Perfect.
For fun. Yes. Yes. Love that. Love that.
It's great, right? It's a good year for Marvel stuff, I feel like. As far as two things I really cared about, which is She-Hulk and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Edition. Black Panther, of course, too. Very good, obviously. Goes without saying. But these...
I feel like I kind of messed up because like I watched both of those within like a few days of each other, and those are like the best things. So I'm like, well,
oh gosh, so good.
Well, now what? James is saying I need to watch Willow. I don't know what that is.
Oh shit, for real? You didn't watch Willow,
no idea.
The old anime, or not? No, sorry, the fantasy movie.
No, is that what it's from? Because I've never seen it. I know about it, never seen it.
Yeah. So it is a continuation.
Oh, well, then I'm not going to watch that because I haven't seen it.
Listen, you're going to have to because Jessica messaged me because I've watched Willow and I loved it, so I've been excited for this. Jessica's never seen the original Willow, but she said, "Hey, I heard it's gay, so I watched it. The first 2 episodes. It's so good. Please go watch it and report back." So it's gay.
Well, I just want to make sure I don't need to know things before I
don't think you do.
Okay, well then I'm into
It's a pretty simple story at its heart. Like you're fine.
Cool.
I would still recommend watching Willow sometime. I really enjoyed it, but I can see it's not for everybody either. It's on Disney Plus, but I'm gonna watch the show.
I mean, I've heard about it, but I don't know. There's a lot of things I just never saw for some reason.
Well, and I didn't see it until like last year.
Okay.
Because I was looking up. I go these stages where I watch one fantasy movie, or read one fantasy book, or watch one show, and I'm like, I need more. And so I'm I'm scouring the internet to find something I haven't seen
Mhm.
that's fantasy. And then I'll find like something good, but typically no. Again, why I loved Wynd, because
Yeah.
I'd never have enough of them. I don't understand. Budget reasons, I'm sure. But I just want more fantasy. Because I feel like growing up, we had stuff. We had Xena, we had Hercules, we had young Hercules. There was some Heath Ledger show too. I feel like there was like a consistent amount of just like low budget fantasy TV. And then we got older and they're like, I don't have time.
Well, and I think what probably also happened is they were like, oh, if we don't have like millions of dollars for our budget, then we can't make a show, because then they'll be like, oh, it's not a versus like back in the 90s, they were like, oh, well, I mean, we can only do so much.
Yeah. Here you go. And that's enough for me, because you don't have to make it a big thing.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, Rings of Power, 10 out of 10. There's not a lot of battle in there, so some people might find it boring because there's not a lot of battle. Stop. It's really good.
I don't need battle.
The people moments are really good.
I like that.
Have you read The Lost God of the Fellspire Chronicles Book 1 from DC? I don't even know what that is.
I know of it. I've heard a lot about it, but you should read and report back to me, because it seems like something I'm not going to care about, to be honest. But maybe you will, and maybe you can prove me wrong.
Whoa. The cover's cool. I'll check it out, because I have that free trial of DC Universe Ultra or whatever, so... Oh, he wrote in the same. It's by the same guy who wrote Warlords of Appalachia, which I don't remember like loving. I think I liked it, but I think they didn't push it enough. I can't remember.
I feel like that's how you felt.
Yeah. Have you started reading Asher Parker yet?
I started it, but I'm not that far into it at all.
I haven't started either.
Yeah.
Well, I need to get it. I'm gonna get it this week.
Okay.
Besides that, I know we need to talk about what we're reading next month and stuff.
Yeah, we do. James, what are we reading? James is here telling us everything.
If I can get a copy of Gideon Falls, the second deluxe, which feels silly because I haven't gotten the first one. I read it online. Yes. Then we can read that.
I would love that.
I don't know what I'm feeling like. I'm not sure. I feel like I had ideas and they were gone.
Well, we can't read Asher Parker. So.
No. I do. I saw you're reading It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth. Do you want to report back on if that's worth us reading together? Because I've been looking at getting it.
I'm trying to remember what that is, to be honest.
You just posted about it.
Did I?
Is it not this book that you posted about? You had a picture of the cat and everything. Reed told you to read it. Am I crazy?
Yeah, no, it's by the same... I read The Impending Blindness of Billy Scott.
Oh.
That's why I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, did I say that? Yeah, who also... the same author.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I was thinking that.
Yeah, but no, I have not read that, but I want to now because I really liked The Impending Blindness of Billy Scott, which I think you would also like.
If you can get access to it, we could try reading She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell, because I want to read that.
How long is that? How many?
Like 5 issues.
Oh, is that it?
I think that's all that's come out, because knowing anything that I love by Marvel, I'm sure it got canceled right away.
Fair.
So that's just an option. And we can just throw it. We can discuss further.
I love her
during our Halls and Read shows, but it's an idea.
I'm into that. I like that. I feel like I want to read more modern She-Hulk now. You know?
I'm in the mood for some more She-Hulk. And that's like the newest one, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Love that combination. I think that'll be good.
Yeah. Perfect. And then we can throw in a manga. We should have to think about a manga. Yeah.
We should do that. I'm like looking around like, what do we...
I'm looking at like Amazon. Oh, there's a manga that we should probably read at some point. There's no rush on this because I don't think we have enough content from this to talk about on the show, probably.
Okay.
I could be wrong. But I do know it's a book that both of us will love. Because I thought maybe you had read it. I think a TikTok had told me. But I want to show you a picture of She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat.
Oh, is that out?
Yeah, it's out. You can read like a sample of the Kindle version too on Amazon, but like that's the whole thing. That's what it is.
I mean,
I don't even
that's
need to
cute.
describe it to you. That's what the
Got
title
it.
is. What it is.
Yeah. Love that.
Because I think that'll be good.
We could do like sometime if you wanted. We could do like a show of like manga one shots and like read some stuff like that and like throw in.
Because the problem is you and
stuff.
I talk about these books a lot, but we can't. It's hard to dedicate one thing to them because it's like, and they're still doing it.
Yeah, but we could like throw in like 5 of those together, and I think easily.
Oh yeah.
Spend some time on each one, you know.
Oh yeah, like a little. We can call it cozy manga review and put like.
Yes.
I like that.
Love that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Okay. So we'll gather some titles.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go to the bookstore.
Maybe we should. Maybe you should go with me.
If you ever come. Okay.
I mean, you said you were going to be here in December, I think, right?
I will be at some point for family things, but that is for my mother to decide for me.
Got it. Do you think you can get away briefly?
Yeah, well, hopefully if we do that, she'll be bringing the kids with her, so then I'll just come up early or something.
Oh, okay.
Or like do some sort of thing like that so we can separate.
That would be cool.
But then you should meet my family anyways, so you can meet my sweet little baby great nephew. So yeah.
Oh, he's the one I always see pictures of, right?
Yeah.
Very cute.
That's my boy.
Love that.
Well, I reckon we could end it early only because I'm hungry.
I get it.
So all
right, well, everyone should buy Wynd.
Yeah.
Go to instocktrades.com.
Do it.
That's what you've learned today.
I don't know if I can do that. Well, anyways, we'll figure it out. We'll be back. Our next show, of course, will be Halls and Reads. And I hope you have a great night. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.